Good morning, everybody. Can't believe it's Friday again. Welcome to our third Craig Clowen virtual assembly. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to doing this, standing here in an empty room with no children or staff in it at all. But hopefully you don't have to do too many more of these, but I hope you're finding them fun. And I left you on a bit of a cliffhanger last week, where I just started to cut Mr. Doak's hair with my social isolating pole and clippers, and I know that from some of your comments that you're really looking forward to seeing how it turned out. So if you remember, this is what Mr. Doak wanted to look like. He wanted a nice short back and sides, just like the Bursa's got. And here's the big reveal. This is what he got. And actually, I think you can see you can see Myra in the background. She's just clearing up the mess there. But actually, I was quite proud of that job. And we're still friends, you'll be pleased to hear. So it wasn't a complete disaster. So I know that you've all been busy at home, and we've been very busy here. I've been busy, and one of the things is I've been thinking a bit about what I got up to last year and some of the adventures that I had. Sorry, I forgot that. If you have got any messages that you'd like to send me about Mr. Doak's haircut, please do. You can just, in the classroom, just reply underneath the video link and send me your thoughts. Keep them polite, please. You don't have to say nice things, but it'd be nice if you did. So, you know that I like challenges, and last year, actually, I had a bit of a bumper year for challenges. Some of my friends turned 50, so we did some fun things for their birthdays, and also I set some personal challenges for myself. And this was actually the first of them, and this was quite early in the year. And I don't know if you know where this is, but this is fairly close to here. This is Glen Lyon, and it's a beautiful area of Scotland, quite isolated, quite difficult to get to, high mountains all around it. And I went for a bit of a run. And actually I did an ultra marathon. It was 50 kilometres, so it was just over 30 miles. And we started off running up the side of the dam here, up to the top. There was a food station up at the top, so we got something to drink, something to eat, and then ran back down to the car park at the start, and then up over the big hill, and along this glen here, and back down again, and back over the big hill to the finish, and that was about 30 miles. So that was my first big challenge of last year. And then, there we go, and there's a photograph of me with my partner, Mrs. Gilmour. That's at the finish. You can tell we're looking a bit wonky and tired. But that was great fun, and we succeeded with that challenge. So our next challenge, this was with some friends from the staff at school, so Mrs. Grant, Mr. Adams, Mr. A. Reynolds, and Mrs. Whitelaw came and joined me, or at least I joined them, really. And we walked, and I did a bit of running on the West Highland Way, and we did it over the Easter weekend, so this time last year, and we did it in 3.5 days, and we set off at just north of Glasgow in Mackay, and went north through Drummond, past Ben Lomond, Inverarnham, Bridge of Orkney, King's House, and up to the finish at Fort William. And it was fantastic. We had glorious weather. It took 3.5 days. There were long days. We had tired legs, but we ate good food and we had good company, and we enjoyed the trip immensely. So that was our. There we go. Oh, sorry, I'll go back. There were 96 miles, so it was a bit longer, that one, but we took a lot longer over it. But that was great fun. And here's a picture of us just at the finish. That's going down the high street in Fort William, and you can spot Mr. Reynolds there. I think that's Mrs. Whitelaw there, and maybe Mrs. Grant in front. So that was another great adventure. And then my third big adventure last year, if you remember our speech day speaker, he and I went and did the Cateran Yomp. So it's a big challenge that takes place in June. And you start from Blairgowrie and you walk or run up north, up to, past Bridge of Cally, Kirkmichael, up to Spittal of Glenshee where we go skiing, and then back down through Glen Isla to Curtin of Glen Isla. You go, it's not marked on there, but somewhere you go through Alyth, past down here, actually I should have had the photograph, just down here you go past house of, I'm just trying to think whose house it is, it's the Clark's house, isn't it? And then on to Blairgowrie. Yeah, the Clarks had left us out a box of sweets, which was very kind of them. And there we go. I ran 55 miles with Chris Moon, who was our speech day speaker. It took a long time, took us about 18 hours, I think, but we had a great time, and we finished in the dark, thoroughly satisfied and happy to get a cold drink and our medals. So that's us at the finish. Now, of course, with coronavirus, my plans for this year have changed. And I did have a big plan for a really exciting adventure this year, and that was what I was planning to do. And it was inspired, actually, at the beginning of this academic year, so in September, when I went down to Hadrian's Wall with Form 5. We spent a couple of days down there exploring some of the sites on the wall and spending a little bit of time in Northumbria. And it's a very special place to me because I was born in Hexham, which isn't marked on the map, but it's just to the west of Corbridge here. So I was born pretty much on Hadrian's Wall. So my big plan for this year was to run from Bowness-on-Solway, take a couple of days and get myself to Wallsend near Newcastle, which is the end of the run. And that would have been something in the region of about 84 miles. And you can see all the sort of wonderful names of the places that it goes through. Bowstead Hill, goes all the way over to Holtwhistle, I like the sound of that. Housestead, where we visited with Form 5, Walltown back here, I wonder why it's called that. Wall Houses down here, I wonder why it's called that. And then Wallsend, right at the far end. So my plan was to start on the west coast and to go all the way across to the east coast, carrying all of my belongings and sleeping in my tent and running along the way, taking about 3 days over it. And of course, coronavirus came along and it's cancelled. So I can't do that exciting challenge anymore, at least I can't do it that way. So this is the challenge that I've set myself for May. I'm going to do something, I'm not going to do the real thing, but I'm going to do the equivalent distance. So I'm going to run the equivalent distance of Hadrian's Wall in May. And that's 84 miles, there's 31 days in May, so I have to average 2.71 miles per day. Now that's easy, I can do that in my half hour of exercise that I'm allowed. I couldn't quite walk it, but it could be a slow run. So I can easily do that, and that equates to about 25 minutes of running for me every day. So I should be able to do it, but I can't really miss very many days. If I miss many days, then I'll really struggle. So I've got to commit to this challenge. So coronavirus isn't going to get in the way. No way at all. So, how about you? I always have a challenge for you in my assemblies. And my challenge for you this week is to come up with a challenge that you can do, something physical. And it could be literally anything. So you might decide that Grandma lives 31 miles away and you're going to walk a mile a day so that you've walked the equivalent distance to your grandma's house because you're not able to visit her. So that could be one idea of a challenge. Or would you like to run a mile every day? There we go, you can just get out and do a couple of laps of the garden and run 1 mile every day. Or you can make it 2 miles or 3 miles if you like. Completely up to you. How about you getting on your bike? You could get on your bike and you could cycle the distance to, I don't know, how far would it be to the sea from your house? Work that out and you could cycle that distance over the month. Or you could choose a distance to cycle every day, maybe 3 miles every day. And you could do that with your friends. Or how about this? If you're good at maths, you could work this one out. How about you climb the stairs every day so that over the course of the month you've climbed the equivalent height of Ben Nevis or Everest or something really high. So if you were to do it for Ben Nevis, it would work out like this. Ben Nevis is 1,345 metres high. It was remeasured recently, and that was the height that they came up with. So with an average distance between the floors in a normal house of about 2.5 metres, that is 538 times that you would need to climb the stairs, or roughly 17.5 times a day, every day, for the whole of May. So, my challenge to you is to design your own challenge, and then commit to it by telling somebody all about it, and then going out and doing it, and sticking with it, and achieving it every single day. And if you manage to do that, let me know, or let Mrs. Truland know, and we will make sure that you get a certificate to recognise your achievement. Now, talking about achievements. We've all been busy with digital learning, and I've had the real pleasure this week of sitting in on some of your lessons, coming to some of your tutor periods, meeting with some of you online. And I have to say, in the 10 days that we've been doing the digital learning so far, I've been absolutely astounded by your commitment, your hard work, the hard work of your teachers, and the amount of effort that everybody's been putting into this to make it work. This situation was not of our choosing. We would never have chosen to operate like this, but we're doing it, and with your hard work and the teachers' hard work, we're actually doing an amazing job of it, and I'm ever so proud of you all. I know there are some problems, and the internet doesn't always work, but I thought I'd give you some statistics. In the last 10 days of work, overall as a school, we have sent 53,282 messages. Technically speaking, that is a lot. And we have created over 10,000 new files on Google. We've held 2,813 Google Meets. We've shared 9,191 things electronically. That could be pictures or sound files or videos. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I am proud of each and every single one of you. And that's pupils, and that's teaching staff, and that's your parents as well. Because don't forget, mums and dads and big sisters and brothers have all been working incredibly hard helping you to achieve your work. So a big thank you. Now, normally this is a time in my assemblies when I give out prizes and I also read out the house points. However, it's the first day of my challenge, it's the first day of May, so I've actually got to get my trainers on and go for a run. I've got 2.71 miles to run. So I'm going to head out for a quick run, and I'm going to stop in the middle, and I'm going to do the house points in the middle of my run. So get ready to clap. We're going to have the house points in a moment. And well done, I must say, well done to all of you who have been working hard and getting headmasters show-ups. If you've had a show-up in the last week, then you should have had a card through the door with a little treat in it as well. And there are lots more of those where that came from. So if you are working hard, I hope you get recognised, and I hope you get headmasters show-up, and then you too can get a card. And also, sorry, one final thing before I finish. Well done to all of you who have sent letters and cards this week. I've been hearing from lots of you that you've received cards, and I've been hearing from lots of you that you've sent them. I know that they've been really well appreciated, so well done. Thanks for doing that. I know in these times that's a great thing. It's a really, really nice thing to get a card or a letter through the door in the morning. So, got a few things to think about. Come up with your new challenge and commit to that and tell somebody about it, and then get going and doing it and record it. And remember, let us know when you've achieved it, and we will give you your certificate. And that's it from me. I'm off to head out for a run. So stick around just for a few more minutes, and I'll let you have the house points. Okay? Right, everybody. This is, well, here I am on my run. One of my favourite runs. It comes straight from school along the road towards Alec Morgan's house down at Rind, and then it goes straight up the hill. So this is the top of the hill. You can just see, no you can't, yes you can just see the cairn there and Isla next to it. And the reason I love this run is because from the top here, on a good day, you get the most amazing view. So that's looking over towards the Lomans, down towards the Hartels, the Weirs live down there, and then coming round south there's Bridgeverne. You can wave to Mrs. Dibner, and then, hope you can hear me, out there in the murk just behind the trees is Strathallan, and then over this way you can just see the masts on top of St Magdalene's Hill, and just the other side of the trees there is School. We're now looking kind of north over Perth, the River Tay. There's Canool Hill, and just to the right you can see Madame Thompson waving, and then we're looking down the river towards Dundee, and over there to the right we're coming back into Fife, and you can say hi to Rose and Rafferty Howison, whose farm is just the near side of the far hills. So that's why I love this run, And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the house points. Here we go. Okay, here's the house points for week 3. And in 4th place, with 393 points, nice palindromic number, Zachary Scott Vanian was the highest point scorer, and it was Harris. And they were 9 points ahead with 402 points in 3rd place. Rory Stevenson was the highest point scorer. They were Lewis. They were 8 points ahead, so tiny margins this week, with 410 points in 2nd place. Hugo Brown and Tom Greer were the highest point scorers, and they were Sky. And of course that means that this week's winning house is Aaron. They're in 1st place. They were 26 points ahead, so a decent margin. They got 436 points, and Hamish Cadden was their highest point scorer. So can we have a big round of applause for everyone this week, but in particular for Aaron. Well done, Aaron. Very proud of you. Okay, so that's me done for this week. I hope you've enjoyed your week. You've got a bit more work to do before the end of the day, and then I hope you have an absolutely lovely weekend. I think the weather is going to be a little bit better. So well done for all your hard work, all your efforts this week, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. See you next week.